I don't age. I level up.
March 10, 2026. 86 years old. Chuck Norris throws a bone-rattling punch into the focus mitts and tells the world, "I don't age. I level up." 9 days later, his heart flatlines. An isolated clinic in Hawaii. Was it the peaceful exit the family's sterile obituary claims? What really broke the man who peddled the illusion of immortality for decades? Today, we walk the line, from that final triumphant frame down to dead silence. For decades, Carlos Ray Norris peddled one flawless product, absolute, unbreakable power. From box office smash hits raking in hundreds of millions to becoming a digital god generating billions of search hits. His brand was built on one ironclad rule: Chuck Norris doesn't break. He was a breathing monument of pop culture. He simply didn't have the right to show human weakness. That's exactly why the trip to Kauai looked like the perfect front. Hawaii, the Pacific, total isolation. It was a textbook, micromanaged picture of an 86-year-old patriarch taking a well-earned rest. The family rigged a flawless stage for his golden years, but on March 18, the monument suffered its first fatal crack. The heavy-hitting tabloids, TMZ included, pick up an SOS from the islands, emergency hospitalization. In a world of Hollywood vultures, when a titan like this falls, reporters buy up medical charts before the gurney even hits the ER. But in Hawaii, the gossip machine hits a brick wall. The Kauai hospital turns into an intel bunker overnight. No blurry gurney shots, no whispers from the graveyard shift nurses. The family throws up an unprecedented blackout. The docs clam up, and every damn medical record vanishes off the grid. We don't need conspiracy theories to grasp the sheer scale of the drama inside those hallways. The dead silence screams louder than a fleet of police sirens. His people didn't deadbolt the doors to hide foul play. They locked it down to shield his legacy from the camera's worst nightmare, physical vulnerability. They were desperately guarding the myth. When the legend's heart quit on March 19, the world got just one dry paragraph of an obituary. The perfect facade survived. But behind that stone wall remains the buried truth of how the man who taught the world immortality actually spent his final hours. The doors to that Kauai hospital room are locked tight. On the record, radio silence, but rumors of buried diagnoses are bleeding into the press. Whispers that the actor's health tanked long before that final video even dropped. We'll show you what's really driving these claims. To help us keep busting open these vaults, hit subscribe and leave a comment. Your backing is the fuel we need to keep hunting down the paper trail. Now, let's see how the family's stonewalling lit a match to the internet. March 20, 2026. The clinic's blackout gets its first, heavily managed crack. The family steps out into the open, but strictly on their own turf. No pressers, no telephoto lenses at the front gates. They drop one dry, calculated statement. They hammer two words into the global wire like a steel press: sudden passing. It doesn't hand over a diagnosis, but it locks in the dead end. That same second, the youngest kids, twins Dakota and Danilee, trip the wire. They open their feeds, upload their goodbyes, hit publish, and instantly slam the door on the comments. They cut off the mob's ability to kick up dust on their lawn. That physical move, a mouse click and a gag order on feedback, lays down the new law. No fan debates, just their final period. Here's where the main system crashes. The mob, hardwired for decades to buy the illusion, slams into the brick wall of human biology at 90 miles an hour. Millions get the push notifications on their screens and freeze. 3 generations were raised on one ironclad code. This guy doesn't age, he doesn't break, and death is afraid to look him in the eye. That myth cranked out terabytes of content. But on March 20, that dry family obit forces the crowd to stare down a cold, hard physical fact. Human muscle has a breaking point, and the ticker stopped. The pulse flatlined to zero. Biological wear and tear just broke the digital legend. With one short text, the family carried out the death sentence on pop culture's most bulletproof image. They wiped the meme off the world's monitors. They took 50 years of a manufactured brand, gigabytes of posts about absolute immortality, and zeroed them out with a single strike of the Enter key. The invulnerable hero is liquidated. What's left is just an 86-year-old man in a hospital bed, and a family that methodically, cold-bloodedly, and ruthlessly locks that fact away from prying eyes. March 21st, Sylvester Stallone posts a throwback shot. Jean-Claude Van Damme pens a farewell. Stephen King drops a post. The public sees a tribute, but Norris checking out fractures the action industry's biggest myth. For decades, Norris peddled the image of a man immune to biology. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Lundgren, this crew cashed in on the idea of physical immortality. They bleed millions into medical procedures and going under the knife just to prop up the facade. But now Norris's pulse is dead zero. His death in that Kauai ward is a direct hit on their shared market. Behind the sentimental posts from his peers lies one cold, hard fact. No more borrowed time. The era of bulletproof heroes is now locked away on old film reels. Final ride. From absolute physical control down to the dead silence of a locked Kauai hospital ward. The family built a fortress. The industry hunted for any sign of defeat, coming up empty. The rags waited for the medical charts, the IV drip photos, the vulnerability of a fading titan. But Chuck Norris didn't bow out to biology. He refused to let the machine cash in on his decline. He physically blacked out the cameras, deadbolted the doors, and froze the press out of the finale. March 10, he pounded the focus mitts and stared dead into the lens. The crowd bought into the same old bulletproof facade, but he just took his chips off the table a split second before the dealer dealt a bad hand. He called his shot. I don't age, I level up, and he didn't leave a single damn hospital photo behind. When the clinic monitors flatlined, that digital code was the only thing he left in the room.
Yeah.